It's only going to get juicier. Ladies and gentlemen, our next matchup is going to be YoungSung against Spacestation Gaming, the one that we all looked forward to when the season first started. YoungSung showed, I think it was in their favor handedly.
Yeah, I think the round score between these two teams is like 10-4 or like 10-5 in favor of YoungSung. So they've been looking pretty dominant in this matchup, and I don't think they'll look any different here moving into this finals. I have a lot of faith in these guys that they'll be able to take this, and with it, the $4,000 grand prize.
And we saw what they just did to one of the top 4 teams in North America.
Oh. They pummeled them.
Yeah,
they pummeled them.
It was pretty insane. I mean, Atrocity, we know how good they can be. We've seen them perform, and YoungSung still just brought it to town. They did such a great job. But Spacestation Gaming, they seem to have brought it back. We were a little bit weary about them. I was scared. I was scared coming into these finals, not knowing if they'd get anywhere near the land, but they really brought it to town.
Yeah.
In their matchups, and they've been just showing that they haven't lost it.
Yeah, I mean, I was streaming yesterday, and I was talking about my predictions for the event with people, and I was saying I thought Fable would take it. I thought Fable would win in like a 3-1, 3-2 fashion, but they went 0-3.
Yeah.
They got destroyed by Spacestation Gaming. Spacestation Gaming even running their own comp, beating Fable with their own or giving Fable a taste of their own medicine. So you know, they're definitely here to play, and I wonder if they're going to be running the same comp against YoungSung or if they have something else.
I mean, this is the 2 North American comps that can really change it up on the fly.
Right.
They've all essentially gotten more than pocket picks. I mean, they have a jacket that's
they got a
like
backpack,
some sort of backpack with just everything they can possibly put in there. So I think watching these two teams go head-to-head and even just their picks are going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see Proster play anything but Rook. That's the big question mark for me. I want to see how the Rook of Proster does against this double support comp that I expect YoungSung to be running, and I want to see what he switches it to if it doesn't do too well. Maybe we'll see a Shifu or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things we could see out of SSG, but I think what we'll see out of YoungSung is probably what they've been running. I think we'll see that double support comp, definitely older, but whether or not they play the Sirius or the Ulrich, I'm not sure.
We're definitely going to see that on the fly. Opening up with the Olders, they know that it's pretty much the North American stable at this point.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned it in the chat, and I didn't talk about it. Last match, we didn't see a Rook on either side.
Yeah, I'm crazy. I thought about it like mid-round. There was like no Rook, and it's really weird because we saw how hard the Rook was being punished by the way YoungSung plays, and that's why I kind of mentioned what Proster would switch off to, because what YoungSung was running was just so good against Rook. It seems like it'd be very hard. Interesting. Okay, so SSG, they're feeling cocky. They're feeling confident. They're like, we'll run whatever our opponents are running.
Yeah.
We'll mirror you. Come at us. So they're running the older Ulrich. YoungSung playing the Iva. Okay.
Oh, the teams are swapped right now.
Okay. I kind of had a feeling that was what was happening, but I was running with it. I was like trying to craft the storyline, but nah. So it's swapped.
Yeah, you just got a little screwed there. Sorry, man.
That's okay. I'm an idiot, chat. Make fun of me. But YoungSung, so they're going to be playing their older Ulrich. That makes sense. That makes sense. I wonder what their melee will be. Maybe a Baco? I do like the Iva pick, though, into this comp, like I've talked about. Iva's cleanses on the Taser are incredibly important against Ulrich because he has that favor buff that you don't want him to just have. You don't want him to be able to heal his allies for like a billion. So in general, it's just very good.
Give or take.
Yeah. Give or take a billion.
Little billion,
yeah.
2 billion. Yeah.
Just estimate.
And then on top of it, his EXQ, like his big shield, you can cleanse all that as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, the cleanse on your opponents is going to be really strong for Averse, and we know that he's great at landing them. The question is going to be, are they going to just go with the Rook, or are they going to get more unique with their melee?
I feel like if you're SSG, you don't pick Rook.
They
do pick Rook. Okay. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if I'm wrong. We'll see if SSG is able to handle it. The Baco, though, makes sense. As predicted, is going to come in. We'll see how it does. I do like the Baco into the Rook. I feel like he has a lot of good answers. Of course, he has that bulwark for the charge. He has the leap for the charge. He has a lot of abilities that can kind of counter what Rook wants to do.
Yeah.
But if he ever gets like in-capped and comboed, we're going to see the Rook do a lot of damage to him.
And I think it's good because when you're looking at the Croc's going to have a really, really tough time with a cleanse from Iva.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why when they're thinking about it, yes, you can land the in-caps from Baco, but he doesn't rely on those in-caps to really line up the damage. And sometimes Croc really needs those in-caps because his gap closers and the way that he gets in and the way that he kind of sneaks around with his invis, he really relies on getting that hard CC to continuously put damage out. So I think it's good. I think that's probably why they, instead of choosing the Croc, I feel like Baco would have an easier time.
Yeah, I was also, like earlier on, I was talking about the meta, how it's built around playing tanky cores. The very tanky Baco is going to do well into the burst style of the older Rook, simply because we saw him take that Battlerite that reduces the damage after you leap. He took the Blood Axe heal. He just took all of these sustained Battlerites in attempt to become this tanky tyrant, similar to the way Rook plays. So I do really like it, as you really want to be able to mitigate the amount of damage Rook will put out with his armor break.
The Blood Axe Eel, still interesting, and I actually really want to hopefully message. I just want to message Red Peep after and just ask him
I know. I feel like it's bad, right?
How much value he finds in it.
It used to be you would get 2 heal per charge or per weapon charge, but now you only get 1.
Yeah,
so
I think at the base of 5 still. Base of 5 or base of 4. So you definitely you'll find some heal, and it really is just enough. Like, I mean, what makes it feel odd is like it's not even a full M1 from a ranged carry. Like it's difficult. But if you land them all the time, I figure why not? I mean, it does build up. Maybe he sat there and did the math. He's like, I landed, 15 blood axes. That's a lot of health. Like when you really just put it into numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is raw value, but again, you have 2 supports. I'm just thinking of like what would he have put in place of it? There's a lot of hard damage. He's not gonna go for the E charged M1. I think he's gone for the distance though. So
man.
We'll see.
The Grand Finals carpet, North America. These are the 2 top teams, both coming out of Group A. This is pretty intense. We'll see who's able to take it.
The push in from Proster. He gets his counter hit and lands his space. YoungSung trying to be patient when they can find value.
Big chunk of damage already onto Ninjas up top. He has to play pretty safe and use his E. He's not going to get too much value out of it. We'll see if Red is able to secure the orb, but they're not. The M2 from Rook nabs it.
Proster's playing really well. He's just essentially casting one ability after another, but this time they've pulled him away from his teammates. They want to find a burst, but the zap a little bit too fast. The knock up on a Rook. Baka protecting his allies with his space.
Ninjas, he's really split here, Carpet. This could be a bad situation as the Bako gets burst pretty hard, but they do get the orb, give him some more of that recoverable HP, but still the advantage definitely in favor of SSG. 4
ultimates total right now on the field. 2 for YoungSung, 2 for Spacestation Gaming. Here we go.
Older ultimate answered by older ultimate. The zap shield gonna cleanse off the stun from Bloom. Really nice play from Reverse holding that, and they get the orb. SSG, they're still in a dominant position here. Look how low Rare Peep is getting. The Bako ultimate too, dealing so much damage. The Rook ultimate rather. My God, SSG now up 30%.
Yeah, Proster hasn't taken any punishment yet. There's just gonna be his counter, the stun onto Bako. There's nothing Rare Peep can do but sit there and take the lethal amount of damage. They tried to get the combo on Older, but he had an ultimate.
Ooh, that's gonna be it for the red Older as he gets killed. This is looking pretty good. SSG, I like the adjustments they've made. So when we saw them in the group stage, they had a really hard time playing passively. They would play aggressively. Proster would go in and get punished very hard by this double healer comp. But now they're playing very safe. Averse and Bloom sitting so far back, waiting for Proster to go in and holding their big resources for him, like the Zap Shield and the Chrono Flux. And they're just helping him out, making sure he's able to survive. And on the Rook, such a tanky character, he is.
Proster had a great opening this round. So if he struggles to find that, I'm curious to know how they're going to adapt. He's able to land his space, and then he got his counter hit, and then he got an M2. They were trying to hold all the cooldowns until Rook found himself in a bad spot. This time Proster's holding it.
Oh God, look at that burst damage from the Older. Bloom getting so much damage onto Ninjas early on, forcing him to play so defensively, and Bloom is already halfway to ultimate.
Bloom's getting very close. Bako's trying to do the same exact thing, though. He's in about the same spot. Bloom already has an ult.
Oh, God.
Bako gets melted. Blue team got the orb. This is hectic.
Yeah, this is pretty scary. Now Red team have to play so safe. Look at Rare Peep's HP. He's only at 71. Doesn't have much to work with, and now Jeter's doing no better. He gets burst down so hard, finally has enough energy to ultimate, but it might be too late, Carpet. He took so long to get it, and now he's going to get chased down by Verse. The Bako ultimate from Rare Peep is going to try to find some damage onto the blue team, but Spacestation Gaming get another orb.
Yeah, this isn't, I mean, look at how low Jeter is. He might grab a green, but now he's got a time bomb on him. Bako's gonna go down. Spacestation Gaming are splitting them. They're executing. Looks like Proster knows how to play the Rook into this team comp.
Yeah, he's doing incredibly well. YoungSung is having such a hard time punishing. They're not able to get any HP off of the SSG melee. And when you look at the total end HP, 70% SSG was still working with. That's absolutely incredible, and it really shows how hard of a time YoungSung is having getting that true HP damage.
You're talking about YoungSung and how great they are at combos, and they really haven't been able to land a lot of them.
Yeah.
Looking to get an Older ult potentially into a Bako ult. You can even just, why not, smack an Ulrich ult in there.
It's part of the problem with combos, though. Combos answered naturally by raw aggression. If you're able to get in there and be disruptive like we see Proster doing, they'll have such a hard time setting up these combos.
Oh, now he's got nothing. They're going to try and put at least enough damage onto him. so he has no choice but to hopefully not engage a little bit later, but they didn't get as much as I think they'd like to see.
Yeah, beautiful Chrono Flux from Bloom slowed him down, and SSG get the first orb. They're now, the HP pools are even, the Taser getting value onto the Older, and he now spaces in. It's pretty scary here. Blue team, though, they're getting a little bit split.
Yeah, but look at the ultimates right now already on the side of Spacestation Gaming. Bloom and Averse.
Good in-cap, big damage here, but the Zap Shield gonna negate a lot of it. This orb's so important, and it's gonna be taken by YoungSung. They needed that. The counter's not hit either. Proster, this could be bad for him, but YoungSung rather choosing to just back out and heal up.
All grouped up using the orb, helping them secure, or using the ult from Ulrich to helping them secure the orb. Pushback from Bako. Averse trying to get the tractor beam damage in. Now he's used his spacebar, and he's going to find, oh, this actually could be a stun. No, what? How did he actually know? Bloom knew the Jeter was coming for him, so he ulted himself the moment he saw. Figured he'd be looking over at Iva.
Averse throwing that ultimate into the bulwark. Pretty unfortunate, but now the big chunk of damage coming out onto Proster. Oh, nice time better. He has the Aegis and he hits Jeter with it. Not ideal, and now Rare Peep gonna go down. YoungSung, I thought for sure they would have this round, but Spacestation Gaming are playing so well today.
You almost never see that. And Ulrich almost never ults anyone that he knows can steal it from him. Shielded himself.
Oh God, that burst.
Yeah. YoungSung are gonna lose 3 rounds in a row. Spacestation Gaming.
Dude, they're here to play.
They're
ready for that $4,000. They want that first place. And even though Bloom's popping off with these damage numbers, absolutely incredible. Highest damage, highest protection. This guy is respected as one of the best healers in North America for a reason.
YoungSung have a lot to answer right now. But as we do know, this is a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, they have a lot of opportunities to switch up their team comps. We know it's one of their strengths.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Good, these openings from Spacestation Gaming have proven to be quite strong.
Sick taser from Averse, doing such a good job being disruptive with that taser, getting the stun on 2. Now Proster taking a little bit of damage, but he does have that bar of energy carpet. He's gonna eat up, throw a rock, get some more energy, and SSG, they're gonna try to take this orb. Oh, will they get it? They don't. YoungSung actually managed to nab that one. That's big.
They had to use a lot of cooldowns for it, but it was definitely worth it. Look at the health pools, still looking quite even, a little bit more in favor of YoungSung, to be honest.
Oh, the Bako, but the older ultimate is there. Now they're going to find the stun on the Ulrich. Jeter, he pops off his ultimate as well. They find it on the Bloom, but the Zap is the answer. Zap, such a good utility spell, but now they're rotating onto Averse. The tractor beam is there, getting the stun on the Ulrich. Wow, the damage onto the Ulrich, my God.
They just ignore all the damage onto Averse and turn it right around. YoungSung may have secured that orb, but it doesn't even matter. They've lost an ally. I was honestly staring at Averse when I saw Ulrich's body go limp.
Dude, he just, in a matter of like 2 seconds, he lost all of his HP, and that's Rook Older. The amount of damage he'll put out is just absolutely unrivaled.
That was actually insane.
Yeah, in Spacestation Gaming, they're now up 4-0. I've heard rumblings in the pro scene that this is the best comp on this patch. That Older, Rook, Iva, it doesn't get any better. And now I'm kind of seeing why. The amount of damage they can put out is huge. The Zap is so important and so helpful with this comp as well. It's just so hard to get on them and apply pressure, especially when you have the Rook and the Zap and the Taser. There's so much peel, so much sustain, so much damage with Armor Break and Older. What a strong comp.
And there's a certain point where you just kind of have to let Rook land some abilities, because if you spend too much time trying to use your abilities away from them, oh no, Rare
Oh my
Peep.
God.
No, that's not a great opening for him. He does have bravery.
He finally is able to make it out, but now the damage is turned onto Ninjas instead. Seamless play from Spacestation Gaming, going from one enemy to another, and now they're gonna get the orb. No, YoungSung get it.
Blinded on the Older. Rook's gonna go right in onto Ulrich, and then he's gonna counter into the R.
Yeah, great counter.
Look at the health pool right now, 89% to 66. Here comes an ult from Older. Bloom's just going all in right now.
Oh man, Ninjas is taking so much damage up top. He has the favor and gets a shield from from Rare Peep, but Spacestation Gaming Carpet, they get the orb and they have a 40% HP advantage. YoungSung are gonna have to claw their way back in this one.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to. I mean, look at we saw the burst potential of Spacestation Gaming when YoungSung was at full health, and now 2 of them in near-death situations. I don't know if Ulrich or Bako can survive this much longer, especially with this ultimate coming their way. He goes for defensive situation, going for the orb, and they do secure it. They're trying to play it safe. I really like it.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good. They're doing okay. Ninjas, though, the damage is starting to add up, but he manages to make it back. They've negated the HP deficit by 20%. Now, YoungSung, they're back in this, but they're going to need this next orb. Spawning in 4 seconds, but a beautiful double taser stun lines up some damage for Proster. And SSG looking like they're going to get it, but they don't. Another steal from Rare Peep there. Help brings his team back into it, but the ultimate going to miss from the from the Ulrich, and Ninja is going to go down.
That Aegis just went on a trip as well. I don't know if anyone caught that. Older ate up the Aegis and then flicked it at Bako. It went past him, and on the way back, he turned around and bulwarked it even further away. That thing went on a fun little field trip.
Look at Bloom's damage.
That's disgusting.
It's cool to see Bloom pick up Older and be successful, as this was a character he had never played before this patch. He just didn't like playing Older. Not the character for him. But with the Older buffs being so big and having such a big impact on how the character is played, he had to pick him up. And in this short 5 weeks of BPL, he's looking like an incredibly good Older player.
5 rounds to 0. YoungSung didn't get a single round off of Spacestation Gaming. Now, we know they've got a lot of tools up their sleeves. That's not the phrase, but you mash them together and it'll eventually work out. They can do it. I think they can. I mean, when I say they can do it, I don't think they can win. I think they can definitely bring it back. They can at least get a map off of them. They've got unique ways to actually pull it off. But we saw some of the damage. I want to know what happened to Ulrich. I literally didn't see it. I was staring at a verse because I was scared of a verse. I'm like, what's he going to do? Is he going to die here? But Ulrich was able to just die.
He got a nice taste of the armor break. You'll see it here soon. He's caught out here behind the bubble. Radiant Shield. He's going to get taser stunned, and then the Rook comes in. Oh gosh, he doesn't even have armor break on him, Carpet, until the very end. Just the raw damage output from the M1s from Bloom, the M1s of Averse, and the Rocket, just dealing so much damage. And coordination is key, and that's why. Even with small abilities, you can just do so much. Really nice tractor beam stun, too.
I mean, just to note, it seemed like he was in such a decent spot. He had a shield up. He was trying to walk out. The Chronoflux was there a little bit. Sadly, it wasn't his Chronoflux, but still, if I were him, I'd feel relatively safe.
Yeah.
They kind of take some damage here, but it's not a big deal. But once they all just turned and collapsed and they realized there was no more CC for him, it was just endgame for Ulrich. That was insane.
Yeah, that was incredible. I'm really interested to see what YoungSung are going to bring to the table next. Of course, losing 0-5, you generally don't run that comp back.
Probably
You're going to
not.
switch it up, so I wonder if we're going to see the Sirius or the Croak. I don't think we'll see the Ulrich or the Bako again. The Bako, it just seemed like they had such a hard time getting the amount of damage in that they needed, especially against such a tanky comp. So maybe we'll see him switch to the Croak, get those M1s in, get that Frog Leap. The Croak has much more burst damage output, and I think they might need it.
Well, not just that, but Bako also didn't build any damage, and there's probably a lot of reasons for it. I mean, going up against the Zap, going up against the types of support he was dealing with, maybe not, but he went for a lot of sustain. He went for his bravery on his space. He went for his heal on his M2, and those two things, it's interesting because he's got 2 supports, so it's interesting that he's still built relatively supporty Bako. Now, I think the bravery is just great. It's 20% reduced damage for you and everyone around you whenever you space. That's just a massive. But the slight heal on the M2, it's still really interesting because I feel like maybe if you just put that into like your E damage. I mean, look at the combos that he can potentially pull off. If he spaces onto you and hits you with a full M2, you're looking at 50 damage right there. And then if he builds into the bonus E damage on both, there's another like 36 damage. So that's a lot he can do with literally 3 ability casts. So he didn't go for that, which there's obviously a reason for it, because as you said, I think right now, how do you sustain as long as Rook? That's what it feels like the meta is.
How do you play Rook without playing Rook? It's pretty much what Rare Peep was trying to figure out.
Yeah, so it just didn't work out for him. I imagine maybe the Croak, but the Croak's not going to have a great time with Iva.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a mix-up, right? It's not as bad as like the Jumong into Croak, where Jumong's EXM2 follows Croak through stealth. Averse has to play incredibly well and like get a sick taser onto the stealth Croak. So it's like 50-50. Either he'll play really well and get the taser cleanse, or he won't. But instead, SSG, they're gonna switch to Thorn. Interesting.
Thorn, even after such dominating play with Rook. Oh, the teams are backwards right now, so it's gonna be YoungSung with the Thorn. And it's going to be Spacestation Gaming with the Older.
Interesting. So YoungSung still going to go for a more passive game plan. Thorn, I wonder how he pairs into Rook. I feel like it could go either way, maybe closer to like a 50-50, 45-50 match, or 45-55 matchup in favor of the Rook. But Thorn, he does have that burrow to disrupt the counter. He does have just good damage from range. He has the entangling roots for when Rook goes in. I could see this Thorn pick working out, but I wonder if it will.
The Barb Tusk will really help out as well.
Too,
That's a really fat shield where everyone just has to ignore you. With some shields you can put on somebody, and like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep wailing through this, which is where the interesting... Barb Tusk has this very unique situation where it's like it's the only shield that you can't just gain free energy off of, because it will just kill you.
Yeah.
It does a lot of damage when you keep chunking into it. So being able to put that on an ally that's caught in a bad spot when you can't actually be there to help support. We're going to see Alicia.
Interesting.
Man, we talked about that. We think they've got some unique team comps, and apparently they've got even more than we thought.
Yeah, they're pulling out that backpack, dude. They're just like rummaging through, like, what else do we got in here? They're gonna bring out the Thorn Alicia. I like the combo potential. I've talked about it quite a few times in the group stage. You can do some nice stuff with entangling roots and flash freeze. Alicia's E. Just some generally nice setup for the Alicia. I'm wondering what support they're gonna play now, though. I wonder if they'll pick the older. If they pick older, I feel kind of concerned, just purely in terms of their amount of sustain, simply because older doesn't have that much, and they don't have a DPS that has a lot of self-sustain. Of course, the Thorns from Thorn do give him some recovery or some HP, but I'm not sure it's enough.
Remember, these teams are swapped right now, so it is Spacestation Gaming that has the older Iva. I imagine they're going to play Rook for their melee, but they could throw us a curveball. I mean, we know Proster can excel with nearly every melee.
I think if he picks Shifu, he's just going to dominate this game. We saw Shifu absolutely destroy Thorn Alicia last week, and like I feel like you just can't pick these two characters if you don't have a Shifu ban. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that picked at all from Spacestation Gaming, especially when you take into account how good Proster is at Shifu. He is so incredibly disgusting at that character. He'll just like eat this backline up.
Waiting on that last pick, support for YoungSung in the melee for Spacestation Gaming. I imagine they're, I mean, I don't know.
We'll get like I feel like we'll probably see older. We could maybe see a Paloma. I could maybe see Paloma. I don't know.
It's potential. I mean, again, the other thing that's interesting about YoungSung is we don't really always know who's going to be playing what.
Yeah, I think it's Ninjas on the Alicia.
Yeah.
That's my guess. So I'm running with Jeter, still going to have to play on support. We do see the Rook. Dang, I really wanted him to pick Shifu. I would have looked so cool.
Yeah, you would have looked cool. And honestly, I think, I mean, it's really tough because I think that matchup would have felt really good. I mean, we know how good he is at Shifu, but I think right now he just sees the raw value in Rook.
Yeah.
He knows that Rook can deal with more situations with Shifu than Shifu can easily. Shifu can deal with almost everything, but Rook has a slightly easier time with almost all those situations.
Yep.
Especially because of his sustain doesn't rely on having to make contact. And that's, I think, one of the biggest differences, is that Rook is one of the few melees that has self-sustain that doesn't rely on you actually making contact
well,
with
I guess
anybody.
it kind of does, right? Before the first orb spawns, you have to deal damage to get enough energy to eat. So, like, your first engage is, like, really important. But it's not, you're absolutely right. It's not like Shifu having to hit that EX space to get that healing. So, yeah, that is probably part of the reason they pick it.
Because, I mean, there's not many melee. I don't know if there's any others. I'm trying to think through them. They can just get behind a wall and heal alone. I mean, and that's what makes melee a difficult task, because without a support, you are going to have to go in understanding that you have less health and you just want to win this trade to make it even. And it is one of the harder things to grasp when you're getting higher skill level melee games. You're like, I have half this health and there's nothing I can do. I have to go in. I can't just stand back and heal. I need to lose health to get this orb. But Rook doesn't have to do that.
Nah, he'll just press that one button on his keyboard, heal for 16 and then 20 over time.
Yup.
Eat that meat. That's what Rook's all about. I'm kind of concerned for YoungSung. They don't have any cleanses. I feel like cleanses are really, really important against the comp SSG is running. You got to be able to remove that Berserk. You got to be able to remove that Zap Shield. There's just so much value you get out of cleanses, and they don't got any. I wonder if we'll see any Lucy's in Europe. So North America, they have not touched Lucy at all, but I wonder how Lucy would fare against this comp. Maybe the aggression from Rook would just end up being too much. I don't know. I feel like that could be interesting. Anyways, that's a talk for another day. We got YoungSung versus SSG Game 2, fighting for first place in North America. SSG, of course, winning Game 1 5-0, sweeping YoungSung under the rug, kind of putting them down after they were so dominant in group play. YoungSung, they need to step up and swing back if they want that 4K.
$7,000 total on the line right now. $4,000 for first, $3,000 for second.
Big money.
Big money.
Think of all the pizzas you can buy with that much money.
That's true. But I mean, if you take the map into account, Rook's not going to have an easy time landing his incapacitates.
Yeah, it's not like we're on Ormond Knight or something.
Yeah. So that could be why they didn't worry too much about the cleanse. So see what kind of time Rare Peep has on this Thorn.
Oof. Yeah, he's not having too good a time so far. Already down to half. The tractor stun isn't going to land. In a burst, he's spaced in. Made a little bit of a mistake here potentially as he gets chunked for it. And Rare Peep, he gets the orb carpet.
But still, right now it looks like Jeter's going to have to run away. The spell block won't get procced. Jeter knew he was getting hunted. He almost has enough for an ultimate. He's saving those yellows potentially for an ally. He doesn't want them. He knows he can build them easily. He's going to snag them so his opponents can't. Oh, they're going to patiently wait out that Bard Pelska, and there goes Thorn. He gets completely destroyed. They can't even ult him in time from Older.
Dude, this comp is so tanky. SSG, they're just unkillable with this comp they're running. And on the other hand, YoungSung, they're looking like paper. A little bit of the problem, like I mentioned with the older Thorn, there's not very much burst healing carpet. They're not running double support anymore. They can't just Ulrich EXQ, so RarePeep, he has to play so safe because of it. And if he plays aggressive like that and gets caught around a corner again, he's just gonna die.
They did pretty well in the opening. They were able to secure the first orb. They were able to get the trades because Averse tried to go in for some punishment. But you can't dedicate. I mean, they got both those orbs.
Yeah, that's not great. YoungSung, they got both of the orbs, but still, there wasn't enough HP. SSG, they didn't get any orbs, and they ended at like 80%. Just such a tanky comp. Rook, so hard to burst through with the armor break and the armor break weaken, especially when it's attached to Boulder. It's just so strong, dude.
Spacestation Gaming taking the first round. Tangling Roots forcing the space out of Iva, and they get the pull. This is actually a great opening right now for Spacestation Gaming. Tractor Beam's already down, so she's not saving up on energy. The heals are finally there. There's the entangle.
Oh, the orbit is taken by YoungSung, but Carpet, they're still down 2% in terms of raw HP. Rook, he's getting those greens too. It's very important for him that his max HP is high, and it is. You know who's not though? Ninja's getting ran down here by the Rook, not letting up the pressure is Proster. The older ultimate coming out too, but Bloom answers with his own. Or Jeter answers with his own and lands on two. Wow.
And they secure another orb. That was massive. They got the Entangling Roots as well to follow up on the stun. Continue to CC, just missing the pull and stun onto Bloom.
Ooh, nice roots.
Catching him on his space in. Getting the pull and the space. There's the ult damage. Again, another Thorn ultimate. Not finding crazy value.
Oh, and the orb, it was pulled out of Ninja's ultimate, but still RarePeep able to get it. Even with 3 orbs to 0, they're behind in terms of HP though. Proster, he's not being let in, which is very good for YoungSung. He gets frozen too. Proster's roll has been slowing, very much so.
And that's right now YoungSung's biggest task, is to slow down this Rook, not let him get the engages. And then from there, they can try and push him back and secure the orb. Blue team have that one easily. Proster decides to go in on this. He doesn't get an in cap. He uses his smack. The Boulder actually pushes Iva away from getting that Tractor Beam stun onto Older. Alicia dealing with Rook in a 1v1. Armor break is down, space is away. Now Rook is very separated. Incapacitate on the one they're gonna follow with the stun. No, it gets broken by the rocket. The ice block to save Thorn from massive amount of damage. Entangle onto Rook. The XM2 to try and secure the orb, but the Chrono Flux comes down to keep it safe.
Ooh, YoungSung. Their ultimate was forced out. They need to find a big chunk onto Proster here. They get a decent one, but I don't think it's enough, Carpet. And now they're forced back into a spawn. Posting up in YoungSung's spawn, and Alicia is going to go down. SSG just so tanky with so much damage output.
YoungSung just taking their time. These precision kills are just slowly whittling them down, winning trade after trade. They don't even care about the orb that much. They're letting the orb go.
Ooh, that Barbed Husk, you talked about the amount of damage it could output. Did a pretty bit right there, but it's not going to be enough, and Jeter going to be the last to go down. Bloom even spacing out into sudden death, kind of making a statement that he's not afraid. And Spacestation Gaming are going up 2-0 in the second game. Man, they look so good right now.
I mean, this is how I would have expected this to be inverse. This is how I would have expected YoungSung to be performing against Spacestation Gaming. Maybe it's the true hustle, right? Spacestation Gaming spend the whole league play not performing to the extent we thought they would, and then they're like, all right.
Battlerite's scripted. They're just following the script. They were told to lose their first 2 games. Now here they are dominating in the grand finals.
Looking to try and take 2 maps in a row against YoungSung. We know they have a lot of team comps, but they're running out of time to even show them off. The Tractor Beam proving so strong. The double stun. Thorn, oh my god, getting completely melted. The Burrow finally comes back up. He doesn't even get the damage on the orb. They lose the orb as well. I mean, at this point, if I'm RarePeep, I'm running in. Yeah. I'm just like, kill me now.
Yeah, RarePeep, that's pretty much his only option at this point. He could play safe, but he has no HP to work with. It's like, what are they playing safe for? They need to secure so many different orbs if they want back into this round. RarePeep not even able to make it over to the green shards, and Older, he's sitting on 0 heal charges, Carpet. He can't keep his allies up.
I mean, we just talk about, oh, he's literally just going to eat through the Barbed House. They don't even care.
Nah.
We talk about how strong this Iva pick is slowly becoming. I mean, the answers Iva has, especially for melee. And I think it's what can be so crippling as almost any melee against an Iva.
It's that cleanse, dude. That cleanse is just so important in Rare Peep. He had such a tough time playing around it. Another problem with Thorn is his cast animations, they're all really long, right? That means a Verse can almost reliably get Taser stuns because he can see the animation coming out and cast Taser.
Yeah.
Taser has a 0.1 cast, comes out really quick, the projectile is speedy, so it's a perfect answer to like the slow M1ing of Rare Peep. It just makes the Thorn's life so hard.
And on top of that, having a space, having a shield, and having a tractor beam. How are you supposed to get damage on it? Especially when it's in the hands of a Verse. Space Station Gaming up 3-0 right now in map number 2 in this best of 5. Keeping Proster at bay. Rare Peep had to use his space, but not for aggression.
That nice Thorn animation stuck on the Iva. Averse, he rockets himself, and YoungSung, they get the first orb. This is the best start they've had so far in this game. The Taser stun, though, comes out onto the Older. Jeter having to play a little bit safe here. He steps forward. He's sitting on that ultimate carpet. He's definitely waiting for the M2 of Proster. They get it. We'll see if they try to punish him.
I don't know if they're going to. They're a little bit scared because he still has so much support, so much heals. Maybe they're looking to use it safely. Another orb, the EXM2 from Rare Peep.
The fact that Jeter's playing so defensively with his ultimate says a lot about this round. They've been the aggressors so far in this tournament, but YoungSung, they're forced to play on the back foot against SSG, and Jeter, he's just getting eaten up by this Iva. The shield from Alicia's used on him. He's still sitting on that ultimate, but he's gonna die before he gets it off. Jeter's so greedy, and Proster's gonna kill him.
I think they wanted the combo. They know they had to kill somebody. Maybe they're waiting for Thorn to build up to it and just try and get the full combo. Just like they would with the Sirius. Get the ultimate stun from the Older into the damage over time from the Thorn. Man, I've talked about this every single week, and I'm going to keep saying it.
Keep saying it. Hit me with it.
Thorn ults, man.
Don't use it? Is that what you're saying?
Kinda.
Kinda.
I mean, I still, all season, have struggled to see Thorn ult where I'm like, man, what a game changer.
Yeah.
And it is 100 energy. Think of the stuff you can do with that.
Many stuffs, right?
Many stuffs.
You can use your EXM2, pump out that 48 damage. You can use your EX space to save an ally, which we haven't seen yet.
No.
You can do a lot, but that ultimate, people see it as a game changer, but, you know, in all honesty, I think you're right. I think it hasn't been changing the pace of too many rounds. It's pretty unfortunate. I feel like just in general, like I've been saying, the older pick not going to work unless you have a character with self-sustain. YoungSung, they don't have enough carpet. Look already, the Thorn down to about half HP. Jeter sitting on only 1 heal charge left. He needs a lot more than 1 heal charge if he wants to stay in this round, but he's not going to. Jeter has to space out. Now Averse is just running at him. YoungSung, they're falling apart. Oh my god.
Space Station Gaming.
Oh my god.
What a way to end the map. That's going to be 2 maps in a row for Space Station Gaming. Another 5-0 sweep.
Hot damn. That is, we are down 10-0 in favor of Space Station Gaming. YoungSung haven't got a round. Space Station Gaming, this is truly a return to form. And like I said, I'm done preaching that these guys have kind of lost their touch. These guys look incredibly good, and running this comp, I think they might have found the comp they will run on this patch and have success with. I'm scared for the rest of North America and the world at DreamHack Summer.
What on earth just happened? YoungSung, a team that we've been touting all season, just got swept twice in a row.
Yeah.
They're 2 maps down. They've only got 1 more chance to try and bring out one of their unique champion picks. I don't know if it's going to be enough right now.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. Going down 10-0, that says a lot. I don't know what else you bring out if you're YoungSung that will, like, those are such dominant victories. I'm not even sure if they change comps, that if the other comps, like, have a chance just because of, like, how dominant SSG is being right now.
So this is the best of 5 maps. 2 have already gone in favor of Space Station Gaming. They need 1 more to be crowned the North American champions this season.
1 more.
1 more. But shortly after a break first. We're going to go on a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to give them a break so they can think about it. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Finable carpet and in the flesh here to bring you the potential last match. I keep saying potential last match because I don't know what to say. To bring you the last 1 to 3 matches of the day.
The last 1 to 3 matches. Well, yeah, regardless, we'll get that.
We'll at least get 1, and we could get 3. That's the dream we're looking for. When did we get here? We're so close. Hi, guys. We're getting real intimate today. All right, so we have 2 maps now going over in favor of Spacestation Gaming. YoungSung want to bring it back, but they now have to win 3 maps in a row.
Yeah, and
Win score 5.
they got stomped both matches too. Not only do they have to bring it back, but they have to figure out something different.
They have to
and
win a
new.
round.
Yeah, they have to win a round before you can win a map. But my God, Spacestation Gaming with this Rook Iva older looking incredibly strong. I'm not even sure what YoungSung can break out to beat it. I'm hoping maybe we see Ninjas on the Sirius. I feel like you put Ninjas on his comfort character and maybe it works out in favor of YoungSung, but I don't know what else they got left in the tank.
And what makes this so crazy is we went in here assuming this is YoungSung.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
This is going to be YoungSung game because Space Stations aren't living up to their name. And man, did we get proven wrong. I believe these are still going to be swapped. So it is YoungSung with the... It's not swapped. No, this is actually real.
Okay, so
Right.
YoungSung, they're like,
Look at
whatever.
me.
They're like, I'm done. We're playing Rook. I don't think I've ever seen anybody on YoungSung play Rook, so this is going to be a little bit out of their wheelhouse. But, you know, Rare Peep, he's an incredibly competent melee player, so I have no doubt he can succeed. Rook Sirius, I've played against this. This is gross. It's gross.
Guys, this is gross.
It's gross. You get armor broken, then you get like hit for 34 damage with an empowered Sirius someone. It's so dumb. You just end up taking so much damage. But like I mentioned, they don't play Rook. I haven't seen them play Rook, so I'm not sure they're going to be comfortable with this kind of play style. So I don't know how well it's going to work for them. Of course, Space Station Gaming, they just won 10 rounds in a row. They're not switching their comp.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the one thing I want to give YoungSung. They get whatever prize I can give, whatever this is worth, for always being able to change something up and bring something unique to the table no matter what they're up against.
Yeah.
I want to go back and see, did they ever even play the same team comp twice in a row?
Yeah, I think they did in like the group stage, but like moving into the, like today, they haven't.
Today they haven't at all.
Yeah, they've been like doing everything. They've been switching it up all over the place.
And that's huge. I mean,
Yeah,
especially in a game like this, for the longest time, it was master a champion, then beat everybody with it, because you know your interactions with every other champion.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to the point where it's all about team comps, and man, does YoungSung have the tools. So it's just a matter of time, I think, before they're just going to slowly close the gap again between Space Station Gaming, because they're just going to find another crowbar to break open the meta and figure out, oh, never mind, this is how you beat Iva, Rook, and older.
Yeah, and maybe this is the comp. Maybe you run Iva Sirius.
Maybe Iva Sirius.
Maybe that's how you put out enough damage to break through the impenetrable wall that is Rook and Iva.
Yeah.
Of course, they have the Taser Cleanse now. I was saying the Cleanse is super important because it removes the Berserk from Rook and it removes the Zap from the Iva. So having that Cleanse on the other, having an Iva for yourself to cleanse off with the Taser is very, very important. And it's really going to open up the Rook and the Sirius to put out a lot of damage. We'll see if they are able to coordinate that damage, though. That's still the big thing, the big question mark.
And if Bloom spaces, if I were him, I would start sweating.
Yeah.
If an older spaces, when you've got an Iva they can space in, a Rook they can space in, and a Sirius they can space in, you're looking at impending doom.
Yeah, and I really like the Sirius pick against the older for that reason. And we've seen how good Ninjas is at that Petrify. He can just put that Petrify right under Bloom and force out the space early. Very reminiscent of the old Legendary days. Ninjas used to always just throw out a Petrify, force the support to space, and then go. Then you go on the support since you forced it out. We'll see if Bloom bites. We'll see if Bloom throws out his space bar and plays a little bit too defensively. He does have to play very carefully on this older.
So if you're just tuning in, let's catch you up. Space Station Gaming has now beaten YoungSung 2 maps in a row, 5 rounds to 0 in each of those rounds. So YoungSung hasn't even taken a single round off the Space Station right now. They've brought a different team comp to every single map. And this is their last chance to show us that they can figure out Space Station Gaming in time.
You mentioned it, Carpet. $4 grand on the line for first place. Huge chunk of change. We'll see if Space Station's able to secure it.
Flick, Rare Peep. Still showing that he has an idea and has control of this Rook. Jeter actually doing a great job of turning that to a verse while still able to deal with Proster right next to him.
Oof, yeah, Jeter, he eats that charge though, and the amount of damage on him is adding up. The Petrify from Sirius comes out onto Proster, and his counter's not procced. They could find an opening here potentially. In cap 2 onto a verse, gonna force out the ultimate from Bloom, but they don't find any value out of it.
No, they actually went in to get aggressive and had to bail right away. Ninjas is gonna try and find another. There's the ultimate! Or are they gonna take out a burst?
The cleanse, Carpet! I called it a zap. It was cleansed off by the taser, and they found the burst kill on a verse. This Iva is too important not to pick.
There's the turnaround, but will they get a cross kill? Oh, they do! Jeter goes down!
HP pool's 100% even. This is very dicey here. Rare Peep on the Rook, Ninjas on the Sirius. The amount of damage they'll be able to put out is huge. We'll see if they can find an opening.
Rare Peep not as comfortable on this Rook, but we have Ninjas as his support. Bloom's gonna have to be very careful.
Oh, the counter is down. That's a bad sign as Ninja's now gonna get aggressed on. He gets out that weaken onto the Rook. Petrify comes out too.
Oh, but it gets broken immediately. Oh, and then Proster, look at him baiting out all the abilities out of Ninjas. This is just getting carried away right now. Spacestation Gaming seem to have it.
Oh, Rare Peep. Oh, he gets it! Ninjas from downtown, they're going to try to force out a space here. Ninjas has to play so safe. The Rook doesn't have M2, so he's going to eat the older stun. And now Rare Peep's getting so low, he might die. He's going to fall. The ultimate from Proster.
I loved the way they approached that orb. I loved it.
It was so smart.
All Rook wanted to do was get in there so he could smack it away. It's all he wanted to do, just smack it away from boulders and M2s from Rook. And then all it took was the follow-up space from Ninjas, but it still wasn't enough. They'd used so many cooldowns for that. Spacestation Gaming getting that cross kill at the perfect moment, taking down Jeter, taking the first round. YoungSung still haven't gotten around.
Who says comebacks don't happen in Battlerite? This is SSG's second 2v3 in this match alone, even showing that down a character, they can coordinate their damage well enough to find a kill in return and make it worth it. But man, you mentioned it, that walk up to the orb was so wacky. I was like, what is he gonna do here? The knockaway, it was good, but not good enough.
Rare People wanting to close these gaps as soon as possible. The space from Bloom's already down. Now might be a way for them to collapse.
Oh man, Bloom is just manhandling Rare Peep back here.
Yeah.
Rare Peep is not having a good time. He's not gonna get the orb either. Oh, he does.
He just barely does, but then he eats a space in from Rook, followed by an M2. He's armor broken. And then just going in for the support. He's got the ultimate. They find the Rook. Ooh, Pros are going for defense, but still forced to space out of Ninjas in the anticipation of it.
Oh, the taser, it was oh, a sick taser from Bloom. He eats it with the Q and then throws it back and gets a double stun. Spacestation Gaming now up 30%. They don't get the second orb, but they're still so far ahead. They've get a lot of damage onto a verse here though, my God.
Jeter going in. He used a lot of energy to try and take out a verse, and look where they got him down to. 40 health right now.
Oh, this
Hitting
is
the
scary.
counter from Sirius. Oh, the M2 around it. Oh, they're going all in, which means there's no more protection for a verse. Oh! Rare Peep getting stunned. Is he going to stay alive? He eats. He needs the orb. He doesn't get it. Ninjas has a full ult in the barrel. The double stun. They need to try and take out a verse right now, but if they use too much... Oh, what on earth?
God!
What on earth?
Dude, they freestyled that combo. Out of nowhere, they got that in cap into quicksand. Spacestation Gaming making something out of nothing and taking round 2 off the back of it.
Will we see a 15-0 round sweep in the grand finals of North America?
That would be nuts. That would be absolutely insane.
Disgusting.
And, we're on that pace. YoungSung, they've still been unable to take a game, and these rounds aren't looking that close, Carpet. As much as I want to preach the comeback as possible, Spacestation Gaming are looking untouchable in this grand final match. They had moments of weakness against Fable, but against YoungSung just they can't put the brakes on them.
3, 2, 1.
Spacestation Gaming now up 2 rounds. Technically 12. Proster, I think, actually deliberately dodging that space so he doesn't hit the counter from Ninjas. Very well played, still gets the round in and baiting another counter out of Ninjas, flicking down to try and look at all the cooldowns he's already forced out by almost nothing. They're going to try and collapse onto Jeter, who takes so much damage. Bloom is now there. He's playing so aggressively, in cap onto their support. I don't know if Jeter can survive this. He uses the space, he finds his ally. Reverse looking at Rare Peep with the cleanse. Oh my God.
Boy. Jeter.
Time bomb.
Oh God.
Good God. Proster, he's finding so much value in his abilities. He's playing around his opponents so well. He spaces that is serious. He just has to space next to him. He's going to force out the counter and then be able to get a free M2. His M2 is going to what? Force the spacebar, then everyone collapses on Sirius. Or he just flicks it over and finds somebody else. He was able to force out a counter from Sirius and a spacebar from Iva with a single spacebar, and those two are on opposite sides.
Yep.
He literally looked at Sirius and is like, no, I'm going for Iva. Sirius countered, Iva jumped.
Yep.
It's insane what he's finding value in right now.
3-0 the round score now, Carpet. $4,000. Space Station Gaming looking like they're going to be able to claim it. My God, Proster, it's pretty unbelievable to think that he didn't even play Rook up until like a week or two ago. I saw Proster's Rook like 2 months ago. Awful. But his Rook today, incredible. He's doing so much work on this character.
Forcing the M2 at a rare peep just to dodge the boulder. Doesn't want to get armor broken. He's going to have to deal with it on the M2 anyways. Oh, they're just missing value on so many things. I think YoungSung are really struggling right now, even internally, probably communication-wise. Looking for that stun. They got the orb. Ninjas, they're going to find his ally too. He's going to help out the Rook. Taser on the Ninjas. I mean, and just look at the players that don't have to do anything. Averse and Bloom aren't doing anything right now. They look at Rook and they want to put all the damage they can, but between his protection, between his eat, and between the heals from his ally, it's just so hard to get locked down damage onto him.
Averse is doing such a good job enabling Proster, picking up this more defensive range play style. He's still finding so much success. A nice Petrify forces out 2 spacebars. There's a bit of an opening for YoungSung here, but it's not looking like they're going to find any damage off of it because Proster, he engaged, played very offensively, found a lot of damage while they had the opening.
Jeter wanted to separate. The Petrify just before the stun comes out. They just couldn't find it. Ninjas couldn't get the charge that one even onto Bloom. Blue team secure that orb too. That's now going to be 2 orbs for Space Station, 1 for YoungSung. Jeter's just going to go down to his Space M1 from Proster. And Space Station Gaming are about to be up 4-0. Oh, that's okay.
Counters procced. He's able to get back to his ally and heal him up a little bit. He spaces onto Rare Peep as well, but the incap's going to fly out. The Petrify lands onto Proster, but it's not going to matter too much. They might be able to find something up here, but they're actually going to get nothing.
So we talked about, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. We talked about how good Ninjas was at landing Petrifies.
Yeah.
This is not the team comp who's going to be able to do that again.
Nope. Looking to be very hard, and man, it's not looking like the team that YoungSung is going to be able to do anything against.
Yeah.
SSG, 14, they're on a 14-round spree. They haven't lost a round yet, Carpet, in this best of 5. They're on the verge of just clean sweeping YoungSung. This is not the outcome anybody expected today, but SSG, they are showing up. They are ready to play. God, I'm so excited to see these guys at LAN.
Making a statement to Europe as well before they have to meet them at LAN in about a month. Jeter already taking so much damage. They just, I mean, maybe it's the comp they're not terribly comfortable with, but at the same time, the way this Space Station Gaming is playing, they're finally able to get some damage, but not that for not very long. They put some on the Proster, but he just backs out, secures orb. Rare Peep having to space out of there. Health pool's actually not too bad. Almost even, both sides. Zap to protect from the rocket.
Oh man, Rare Peep, sick tasers from Averse, not letting Rare Peep do anything. The older ultimate going to come out from Bloom as well. They're just going to go back to mid, get the free orb. They're playing so defensively, just winning this war of attrition as they're getting the mid orb. That big resource helping them out so much. And it's looking like they're going to take this round, Carpet. They have such an advantage already.
I love using the older ultimate to bait out abilities and then still go for orb anyways, playing defensively. It has such a presence. Oh, no.
Oh, that sick in-cap combo. My God, they might be able to find the kill here. He's, oh, the serious beam, though. But in the meantime, Averse guns down Ninjas. Now, Jeter's low, too. Nobody on YoungSung is healthy. Oh, God, they need to find this kill here. I'm not sure they're going to find the kill on Averse. The space is available, and in the meantime, Rare Peep goes down. This is over, Carpet. YoungSung have got swept 15-0.
Space Station Gaming, after having, I don't even want to call it a dodgy, just not what we expected for group play.
Yeah.
They did not perform how we wanted, and they have just made us eat our own words. 15 rounds to 0 against easily the team that performed the best throughout group play in North America. They just swept them 3 maps in a row, didn't give them a single round. And when you talk about a YoungSung, all about the combo plays, right? They coordinate about combo. What does Space Station Gaming do? They coordinate separately. They're perfectly timing when they're forcing people out and just dishing out the damage when they can. The tasers from Averse to allow Proster to do whatever he wants on Rook. All the damage buffs from Rook, putting on the armor break on people so that you can see Bloom just get the perfect ease. They're doing combos in much, I don't want to say, it's harder to see, right? It's not like the one mega awesome ultimate combo. It's just making sure that every ability gets maximum capacity, gets maximum value, and it's flawless to watch, and they just took it to YoungSung 15 rounds in a row.
Yeah, man, after your analysis, all I have to say is damn. Damn, SSG 15-0. That is